Hi friends, this is Lee from Gape Studios. Welcome back to anybody following my channel. I've haven't been on for a little while here. As First off, how's everybody doing? It's been a hot minute. The energy has been insane, and I just want to share my experiences about it with you, so that if you're feeling the energies coming in, especially after this full moon in Pisces, and it was in. Full moon in Pisces, but also accompanied by Neptune, the ruler of Pisces. So very interesting energies coming in this, friends. We are in this great shift of consciousness, of awareness, and we are in it together. And I just want to talk about it. I want to talk about how I'm feeling, what's been coming up with me. My energy has been drained. Let me tell you what. So I want to talk about that. If anybody else is feeling the energy, I just want to kind of give you maybe a different perspective of what I'm feeling, as normally things that would cause me anxiety and great deal of chaos within myself, I now see as super duper exciting, and I just want to share why, and why I'm excited about what is going on in the world. It's not an exciting time by any means, but it is a shift, and we're seeing things that is divinely in time, and it is a reflection of our collective consciousness playing out on the world scene. And so I also want to go into a few pieces. I've been working in my studio quite diligently the last little bit here, as I've been so drained. I haven't been able to do anything or even think about doing anything for the past couple of weeks, and I've been sharing with others to how important it is when you're feeling that way, especially with what's happening to you on a cellular level, on a DNA level, which I'll go into. But it is so draining right now. It can be draining as we experience maybe some chaos happening in our world. Some of our worlds have been turned upside down by change, unexpected change, and it's so important to be aware of how you react to these changes that would knock you off your feet and knock you off balance back into a fear thought process of false evidence appearing real. And I just want to help steer your thoughts maybe at ease into another direction and a new way of thinking of this great shift that we're in. So you can see I got my left-hand man by my side here as we navigate these energies coming in of the light and the dark energies that we're all seeing. And I have with me always the defender of the universe, Voltron. My stepson Gavin got me this guy here. He looks pretty big, but he's a pretty cool little dude. So he is joining us in the studio, protecting the energy of love and excitement and joy that we like to express here. And nothing's going to get in our way of doing that. And have my Princess Allura by my side as well. So I'm gonna, before I want to share a writing that I did that came through while I was taking a break. And as I was saying, that I encourage others to, when they're feeling that way, to honor their body, because we are going through great change, and to take that time and get out to nature, out to the forest for rest, and connect with Mother Gaia Earth again. She is here to support us in this great shift. So take your time, folks, friends. Have compassion and patience for yourself in these times. It is the key, and anchor into gratitude within the heart to get through these chaotic times and these seemingly stressful times. But I do assure you, friends, that this is a catalyst to something great, a catalyst to something that we have never experienced before on Earth, and how exciting it is for change. Because I ask you, don't you want change? what we have been doing does not work anymore, and we see it breaking down in society in every which way. When one seeks to control another, it will never work, because love never fails, friends. And that's what I'm excited about, because the return of the divine feminine, as we are, the full moon is all about revelation and release and moving forward, and we are in that time of revelation now, friends, of what is happening, of something greater within ourselves, and that we have been seeking for outside of ourselves, and completely in the wrong direction, misguided. I'm sorry, friends. But anything that resides in duality or fear-based narratives, ask yourselves: is it true for you? You know, like, really, there's anything that is controlling your mind and throwing you off balance to seeking something that's a savior outside of yourself, is not the way to look anymore. We need to look within, because the world that we see when we open our eyes is a reflection directly of our inner state of being, our mental state, our emotional state, and that is what creates our reality, friends. We are living in a holographic fractal universe. And so what that means is we are a reflection of our higher minds. Everything is mental. This universe is mind, the mind of one, and we are the ones that see it, and bring that information to what we perceive back to source, so that the one may get to know itself through us. And that's what we are as humans. We are we receive. You know, the higher mind is the conceiver. Your mind is meant to receive, and your conscious mind is the perceiver, your eyes. And so to the chatter is what I'm trying to say in your mind, that causes us these anxieties, these stories that we tell over and over in our minds that cause the anxiety or depression. This is an imbalance of the energies, because we're still either residing in a victim mentality or a fear-based mentality of fight or flight, you know. And we need to step out of that now and recognize that we are souls having a human experience, and how to truly connect back to your higher self and embody it in this experience of this holographic movie that our higher minds are playing out as our physical self in this lower dimension. But nothing is physical. It's a holographic experience. If that makes any sense or resonates with you, let me know. You know, but this is what I have discovered in my studies, and also exploring my chakra system, my 7 seals of revelation, and opening those petals within myself of awareness. And we'll go into that as well, perhaps in this video or next. But I'm going to show you some art, and we're going to go into that a little bit further, what I had just talked about, you know. And I just want you to be aware of what's going on within you, you know, so that we can create a new world without the fear, and move forward in a thinking of unity consciousness and unconditional love for this experience, when we let go of judgment and step into the heart. And that's what I'm going to talk about, is stepping into the heart. My original 7 seals of revelation. I am working on my 4th 7 seals of revelation that still is looking for a home. If you hear Laura in the background, she thinks she's a guard dog, but I have yet to see it. She'll lick somebody to bits, I bet. So anyway, so I am working on the 4th 7 seals of revelation. And I want to just show you a few pieces that I cut out. I have 2 more to go before I can soak my pieces and give them a drink of teak and tongue oil, a nice natural finish. and then build my frame for these pieces. So this, of course, represents your root chakra, and so of course this is your number, my number one of seven. And then we have, I'm just going to set this up here, wouldn't want it to fall. Then I have the sacral chakra, and every time I make this piece it always turns out different every time, which is really cool because I always see it differently. So there's every time you get 7 seals of revelation, it's always pretty authentically, probably never going to be recreated. So and then of course I got my solar plexus here, and you can see I'm going to be putting yin yangs. I'm doing some burn finishes on this, and I'm going to be putting, the suns will be yin yangs, which is really super cool, I think. And that's a little bit different from my last one, and this one's a little bit different too. This is my heart chakra, Anahata. So that's pretty cool. I got some, I think I'm done with that one. I just gotta oil it. And then we have this one that I just finished last night. It's really cool, Vishuddha. This is the throat chakra, and in this I have the 16 petals of the vowels of the Sanskrit alphabet as well. And these are petals that you can explore within your own human body energetically. And right now we these also represents dimensions of consciousness as well. And so 1 through 7, and the throat being the 5th one, which is what we're stepping into now, which is speaking our truth of who we are, and as we remember that we're souls having a human experience. So we're stepping into that unity consciousness as we realize that we are all one reflection, just different degrees of that source energy. We have that fractal spark of divine source energy within our bodies. And when we balance those two energies, as the energy comes up your chakras, we are in the throat chakras, or we are speaking our truth as we remember who we are, souls having a human experience, and the world will start to change around you as we perceive love and understand what it is, and redefine our definitions of what it is. We will start to experience a new way of living, and it will reflect back to us as the outer world is a mirror for our inner feelings, if that makes sense. And then after that, I am now working, and I got some cool burn work I'm doing on this one. I'm working on Ajna, my third eye, and I'm just doing some designs in the petals here, but I think I'm going to put this the proper Sanskrit symbols in there, and there's going to be some cool eyes happening here after I'm done with the burn works, and so that's going to be a cool piece. And then of course I got my crown chakra, and this is the 7 of 7. This is the 1,000 petal lotus that opens up. And interestingly enough, chakras 1 through 6, and this has always been a confusing topic for me, the 144,000 and who or what they are. And now I understand it's a frequency, because everything is frequency. In your chakras 1 through 6, the petals add up to 144. And then you multiply that by the 1,000 petal lotus, your opening up, and you get 144,000, and that represents a frequency of unity consciousness, and that's what that number means, to clear up any confusion, because my personal, why it was so confusing for me is because I was studied the Bible my whole life, and in the Western teachings, and the dogma and indoctrination, and it was always a group of that certain religion that were supposed to go judge people with God at Armageddon, from our congregations, of course. and pass judgment on mankind. And anyway, that's a story for another day. I'm rambling now, but anyway, 144,000. For anybody that was kind of so confused and twisted about what that was, it's a frequency, it's a consciousness and awareness within yourself, that of the understanding that you are a soul having a human experience, that we calcified ourselves into this experience believing that we were separate from one another. And that's why it's so important to treat others as yourself, because truly we are reflections of one another, because we are the many, or the one experiencing itself as the many. So that's my 7 seals of revelation. I'm just about done that, and I am so excited to have it ready to go for somebody who wants that peace. And it is so it's hard to give them away when the person comes to pick it up, but it is so cool because I infuse a lot of energy work and healing energy into my pieces, as well as I sound bathe them in the appropriate frequencies for that chakra. And I put my love and passion and joy into my pieces as I'm working on them, and it really keeps me in a place of presence and a place of excitement and a place of joy, because I'm truly doing what I love, and that changes my world, and that's what I experience more of, and so when we come into that balance and truly do what we love, it will start to reflect back to you in your outer experience. And then as we do that individually, collectively, we're changing the world around us, because then we're starting to perceive something new, because we're healing our traumas within ourselves that we've carried from this lifetime and others, as we incarnate from one life to another. And once we release that traumas that no longer serve us but did serve us, for the growth of our soul. So all of our traumas truly were something there for us and not to us. And I look at my past, where I used to be angry and lash out, where now I see it all in a place of gratitude and such love for the experience and for how it helped me to grow as a soul, coming into balance, where I can look at my past in such joy and excitement, and just reflect on it as the movie of my higher mind, the holotope, the holo movie of my higher mind. And how exciting that is. That does that change your perspective of what this life truly is? When you understand that, you are the creator of your experience. We share that power with source energy, because source energy is us, reflecting in so many different aspects of the same thing. And I'm going to talk about that in what came through in my reading here, or in my automatic writing, regarding that, the ego. So, I just got so excited about that when I understood that we create our personal experiences by our beliefs in what we believe to be true. And that emotional, that what you put out, your energy and your beliefs will be reflected to you in some way or another via people that come into your life to bring those experiences to you, because we have those soul agreements with these people to create based on our beliefs. And ego comes and plays a big role in that, as well as I've explored healing the inner child, where now I can look back at everything, and I'm so super excited about it, because it's like, wow, now I see it for what it was for. It was for me. Nothing happened to me. You know what I'm saying? It was all for the growth of my soul as I play in the sea of consciousness, incarnated here as the Lee Manzer experiment, and when you, because normally when we go through life in a state of fight or flight or fear, we and that shapes our belief system, our beliefs, our BS belief systems, truly, and what that does is it creates You create your experience based on that, and it'll reflect back to you your beliefs and exactly what you need to look at within yourself. And so it's so important to examine your beliefs because you truly create them, the experience. And that's why we see the chaos in the world, because we're always in a state of lower frequency thought process and of fear narratives. I can't pay my bills. I have my work is all you focus on, and you go to bed thinking about work. You get up thinking about work and all the things you didn't do and all the things you should have done and blah 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 and all the chatter in your head. That stops your mind from doing what it's supposed to and designed to do, which is to receive and not to think so fucking much. You know what I'm saying? Calm that shit down, and we do that by meditation and just breathing and understanding that we're exactly where we're supposed to be in every moment. And every moment is meant for you, especially the ones that challenge you and trigger you, because the triggers are there to show you what you need to look at within yourself. Because we all have darkness within us. Come on, people, and it's time to accept that. And that includes the ego. And, once we reach that frequency of unity, consciousness, our DNA, it's changing, friends. And I'm going to talk about that. But we are made of the elements. And when we balance all of those within ourselves, we become the fifth element, friends. So I made this piece. It's pretty cool. And we got all the 4 elements that, our DNA is from. But what is unlocking in our DNA now is that junk DNA, but it's actually our 24th pair of chromosomes, which is our connected to our interdimensional selves. Because once we are aware of our higher mind, and we're reflections of that, we can actually embody the higher mind as we start to choose to love the experience in non-judgment and love one another, because every soul is here incarnating for those soul experiences. So how could you judge you are an eternal being expressing yourself as you here, but we're all fractals of that same source energy. So you become, once you align this energy and open up your chakras, you become that fifth element, and you activate your Merkaba, your light body, which is represented by the pyramids intertwined, and one revolves one way and the other way, and it activates your Taurus field. And that's, that might be a conversation for another day, or else I'll just ramble on. And I have this one other piece here too. I have all the chakras with the flower of life in the middle. That's going to be a piece up for grabs too. Anyway, so as I was saying, I'm going to read, bear everything in mind that I just talked about. Remember, friends, this is what you need here: the golden key, the 4 elements, and the only thing that's missing is you. And you are the missing piece of the puzzle. You are the missing link. And it's here in your mind, friends. And that's where everything starts. That's where disease starts. That's where, we're too in the mind, and we need to meet in the middle here and take a breath at the lungs, and then step into the heart, where there is no judgment or duality. So I had in my little time off there, where I took the time for myself and went through this energy change. It really wiped me out, friends, and I'm glad to be back. And I hope that this information and just sharing, it's just what I'm experiencing. That's what I'm sharing, And yes, I'm quantum entangled, and so are you, with the Pleiadians or other extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings. The Pleiadians, they are past and future us. They're now us. Everything exists in the now moment. We also have connections to the Arcturians. And it's time to accept these The information is out there. They've been here all along. They never left. We're just now able to perceive them when we step into unity. I wouldn't come here from another world either, because I'd get blown. They'd blow the shit out of me if I showed up, unannounced as a interdimensional being, from outer space, because it disrupts a narrative that's happening here on Earth. Where did that technology? They didn't stop at the local gas station and come here light years away. So what does that mean for us? And now we're able to perceive that because our consciousness and is rising of this awareness. And so we're going to see big changes, friends. This is what it is. There's so much going on. Where the planets are, where we're aligned to our sister star, Sirius, the light energy, which is information coming in of this knowledge and ancient wisdom. You're going to hear of it more and more. It's whether it resonates with you or not. If this resonates with you, please let me know where you're from. Let me know what you think, and what you've been going through, what you feel. I really want to hear from you, so please leave your comments. Let me know. So this one I downloaded at 08/29, so August 29th 2024. I called it Ego, Easing God Out, and I started this channel at 1:02 a.m. and this came in 2 parts. It is not your heart that breaks, it is your ego. I am forever grateful to my ego self. You have always supported me in my beliefs, as that is what information you use to create my reality, so that I might come to know exactly where to look at within myself, based on what or who shows up in my outer experience. If I believed that I was ever unworthy of the love of all that is, Source, the one mind of all, then I would never find the love that I so desperately wanted to have. So I chased it in my outer world, running further away from where the true unconditional love was always hidden in plain sight. So I needed to see from a different viewpoint, from a third perspective. I feel that ego does us a great service, friends, in showing us exactly what we need to look at within ourselves, showing us exactly, directly, how it is that you feel inside by your outer reflections. Your emotions, this means energy, emotions, energy in motion. It is not meant to be stuck. A river flows, and if we're not flowing, we're damned. I just got that. And that energy can't flow through us. And then we become anchored into the experience that we believe that this is a real physical experience, like that we're not more than this, right? That we're not worthy of more than this. Where was I? Oh yeah. Your mental state as well, your emotional, your mental state. Ego shows us all the darkness that lives within each and every one of us, so that we may see, to recognize, and to accept the darkness within, emotional darkness, mental darkness, so that we may love it for showing us what does not serve us anymore. We fear and project that fear of what we do not yet understand, or I like to say understand, and that is ourselves, and that is love. And our definitions of love, we need to redefine that. Our beliefs of love. And friends, I ask you to really challenge your beliefs on what love is and why it is that we can't find it. It's because we're not allowing it to come through us and find that love for ourselves, first and foremost. That creates a dam in the flow of the river of life within you. There are many who do not believe that it is possible, and so shall it be for them. Love the darkness, friends, as it is as much a part of us just as the light. Love the ego. Everybody wants the ego to die, and I'm sick of killing things. I don't think it works anymore, right? Who wants to go to war with anything? Come on, I want to experience joy and excitement, and that's what I'm going to reflect, because that's what I want to see in the world, and then I see more of it, I create more of it, and it attracts to you, and that's how it works. If you want to raise your vibration, go have some friggin' fun for once. Forget all the bullshit that society thinks or makes us think that we have to be, or the masks that we have to wear, that we identify ourselves with, that isn't truly you. Anyway, back to back to the thing here. The darkness is the opposite condition of light, just as temperature, hot and cold, are in fact describing the same thing. They only vary in degrees. They're both encompassed within the one, and that's just like us. We're hot and cold, for sure. But we're all of those within different degrees, but we all express from the same one. Reflection, light, information, consciousness. When we begin to heal our mental and emotional traumas, when we find a place of gratitude, when we see them in gratitude in a different perspective, the energy begins to move again. And this is where I just got tired, and a voice said, vessel is tired, and I actually wrote that, and I ended it at 1:34 a.m. And then I picked up the night after, writing to myself, my dearest ego, I would never want to hurt you. I don't want you to die, but rather, I want to take you on this epic journey so that you may rest now with your tricky ways. And now experience the love you are always there. Experience the love. Share the love. Ego, you're always there, and I accept that as part of me that I will forever be grateful for. I love you. Heal the inner child. Bring out the inner child and let your inner child play for once. It's time not to take things so serious. It's a light body. It's not heavy. That's what we'll talk about, the human body and how it transmutes energy, alchemy. So it's time to co-create with the ego. And it was never designed to suffer. And that's why it's so pissed off and trying to trick you all the time, because it was never designed to suffer. And that's where our emotions and our thoughts based in the fear frequency, we have to rise our awareness above that we're more, and we don't have to be scared no more. We don't have to fear anything, because we are eternal beings, and there's certain people that are losing power and they don't want to, so that's something that we're going to face together, but we can do it and still do what we love, regardless of what's happening around you. It's very important to raise the vibration as Mother Earth Gaia raises her vibration as well. She responds to us. Okay? So we're going through that great shift. It was never designed to suffer. That is self-imposed by your beliefs. It was designed to create your outer reality, your hollow movie, based on what you believe to be true. And we are in the time of revelation, friends, represented by my piece, but that revelation is a revelation about who you truly are, the truth of who you are. So, yes, we are going through an apocalypse, but let's define what apocalypse means. Look it up. It means to unveil. And we are having an unveiling of truth. The curtains are being open to our minds, showing us that we are greater than that which holds us down, anchored into this physical dimension, experiencing suffering. And we do not have to suffer no more, friends, because all you got to do is go have some fun, you know? So, I realized that, my better half, I always say Angela's my better half, and truly she is, because she is me, I am her. We're reflections of one another. But then I had to realize that my better half was never outside of myself, and no one is coming to save me but me. The better half was always me, and that other half is your connection to your higher self, and you can reach and listen and feel for that when you quiet your mind and allow your pineal gland to open and let that energy flow through you, so that you can reconnect with your higher self. And then we collectively connect together as we embody our higher self. We connect to one another because we look at one another, as each other, as that divine spark of love, unconditional love. That energy that binds the universe together is within you, your holy temple. Between the temples is your third eye, where you can perceive these things about yourself. And so that's what I want to share with you. We, right now, especially today is, what day is it today? September the 20th, Friday. So this time of year, All Hallows Eve, this is when the last great civilization called Atlantis went down, but that's another story. But it is the time where the veil is thinnest between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. And this is a great time and a great opportunity to connect with Source, to connect with your higher mind, to connect with your guides. This veil of awareness that they are there in a different vibration, and that's where we're rising ourselves up to in consciousness, so that we connect to them first off telepathically. And then but to make this connection requires you to actually disconnect from the identities that you think you have to play out in this movie of ours. I'm in that boat too, let me tell you. It's been a learning curve for me. I'm just sharing what I've been practicing in my life, because as I practice, it becomes true for me, and there is irrefutable evidence, and I just need to share it, my experiences of how this formula works. Do what you love. Amazing how simple and complicated, eh? So disconnect from technology, distractions, and you'll find and be able to recognize what these distractions are for you, in the mind. What is taking your energy? What are your thoughts? Examine your thoughts. Where is that energy flowing to? Is it flowing to thoughts that create anxiety, which is typically thinking of future? How am I going to do this? I don't know how I'm going to make this, and our mind goes wild and starts creating scenarios that actually don't even exist, because the future doesn't exist. Or we get depressed about maybe the past, or we get depressed that we can't do anything, and that creates a vibration, lower frequency of fear, fight or flight mode, that frequency, that emotion and beliefs, that things can't change, will continue to come at you and reflect back to you. So this is where you start to examine your thoughts, and if they are of a negative frequency, then it's a great indication. And that's a red flag, and you wanna recognize that. Oh, hey, I recognize you now. It doesn't belong to me. Let's take a few breaths and anchor our mind to our breath, your prana, your vital life force energy. That is your connection to spirit. And you follow your breath up and down, and you allow your mind to go there so that the thoughts may drift away. And it only takes 3 minutes a day, friends, just to be mindful of that. It doesn't take very long. So the thought of meditation is like, I don't want to sit down for an hour, and then you like, this was my experience. This is why I say these things. It's not making fun of anybody. Hold on a second. My princess is scratching at the door. And she likes to be in here with me. She doesn't like to be too far, so. But anyway, my experiences with meditation is just that. It's like, I was always disappointed in myself after a meditation because I'd kick myself in the ass because I wanted to have a great experience, and then it's like, it's like, okay, I'm relaxed, I'm mindful, I'm in the yoga studio, I'm gonna meditate here for a few minutes, or be in my practice, like a nice yoga nidra or something, or a yin class, and your mind, it's like, I just anchor to your breath, and then it's like, I got to do this and this and this, and then, so and so owes me an apology, and I'm mad about it, and your mind starts to wander one way or the other, and then, and that was my experience. And it's like, and then I catch myself once in a while, it's like, oh shit, I'm meditating. Let's anchor back to the breath and let those thoughts fade away, because they don't actually exist, because it's not in the now moment. The only thing that exists in the now moment, or is the now moment, and we need to anchor ourselves to that. Be present, not in the past, not in the future. Neither exist, only in your mind, in your body. It comes through in your body. As disease, when we are in a state of fight or flight, your body produces too much cortisol and adrenaline that causes dis-ease in the body. It causes that imbalance because we're in a fear-based thought process. And so when you start to balance those energies in your mind, and you step into the heart, and be mindful, and realize that although that bad stuff actually is there for you, showing you that maybe it's your choices and your beliefs that are causing those things to be reflected to you, if that makes sense. So, quiet the mind, stop the chatter, heal the inner child, release all of the things that do not serve you, and that are those negative thoughts. That's what doesn't serve you anymore, because it doesn't feel good to feel like that anymore. It's not about getting better. It's not about feeling better. It's about getting better at feeling. And that's truly what this experience is we are actually here to experience love. But if we can just stop judging love, because because of what we've been fed of what love is, we can find that within ourselves, friends. It is not outside of ourselves, and it is very healing. So that's all I'm going to talk about tonight. I don't want to go too long here, and I hope to hear from everybody again. And I also offer tarot card readings to help to use it as a tool to connect you to your higher self and to your spirit guides, and truly bring you in those messages that you need for guidance on your way and your pathway to yourself. And so yes, I do offer tarot card readings, and you can reach me at Agape Holistic Yoga Wellness.ca, www.agape Holistic Yoga Wellness.ca, and you can go on there. You can check out what my wife has to offer as well. She has many modalities of healing, holistic nutrition, so much stuff on there. And so if you want to go check her out, you can book an appointment there with me. I do offer an hour and a half sessions on there as well for healing with awareness, just to go in deeper into your experience, in your individual experience, to help you to bridge that gap between your between your physical world and your higher mind, so that you can consciously create, co-create in this cool earth school, instead of unconsciously creating when we were in a place of fear. So if you check us out there, friends, there's so much work to do as we are here to help one another raise ourselves up in consciousness and awareness and in love for the experience. You know, the more and more each of us do our inner work, we heal the earth as well as she responds to us, and then we'll be brought into a new vibration and a new reflection back to us, where we can step into our true selves and to back to our reclaim our spot in the cosmos, and reconnect with our galactic history, of what this experience truly is and who we are in the universe. And friends, we are quite special. And Earth is the jewel of the cosmos, and humans are the most advanced technology, this body, this vessel in the cosmos, friends. So I'm here to help to activate your body, so that you can use it in a way which is to create through you, so that we can create a new world together. So let me know what you think, friends. Book a tarot card reading with me. By all means, I am so happy to help you on your way, to much better times, friends. And it all starts in the mind. And so I will leave it at that. I hope that you join me, as I do have more plans, as I talked about before, and I'm ready and geared up to go. So let's make a shift in this world. Let's shift consciously, and let's shift together into a greater experience that we have never seen before in humanity. And I'm so happy to be in service in this capacity. And I hope to hear from you. Namaste, friends. Have an awesome day.